Hi, welcome back to Celebrating Culture. The 1890s were a critical time for the Italian community in New Orleans, Louisiana, or the Sicilian community. We had the lynching of 1891. Mother Cabrini arrived in 1892. Many Sicilians felt they needed to get out of New Orleans. It just wasn't safe. So they came down to what they knew. They came down to Grand Isle. They came down to the coast of Louisiana to become fishermen like they had fished in Sicily. They got hit by a hurricane that killed approximately 500 Sicilians, 2,000 people. It's one of the top 5 worst hurricanes ever to hit America. We don't know much about it because really it was not filmed to document it. But this marker tells a little bit of the story. 1893. So they left Caminada and came up here and founded another town because Caminada was just wiped out. And later, this area they went to Misville, and they also went to Orange. You can see right here, Rosalie. You can see right here a French, you can see. So in 1893, so they left New Orleans, but then in 1893, one of the most powerful hurricanes that hit America hit this area. It was called Caminada by Grand Isle. It killed 2,000 people, 500 being Sicilians. And you can see here a couple, a French gentleman named Pierre Charles Lee and his wife, Rosalie Alvarado, moved up here and founded Leeville after Charles's name. Later, they had to move again because another hurricane hit. They moved further north to Misville and eventually to Galliano. 1938, Leeville became the oil-producing capital of Fouche Parish with 297 oil wells. So right now we're on our way to Grand Isle and Caminada where this hurricane hit. But you can see it's mainly an industrial town for getting the boats out, the crew boats, the fishing boats. It's an interesting mixture where you have the great shrimp and fishing in the Gulf, but you also have a lot of oil. And Leeville is very much a small town now for the workers that work in those industries. A couple of marinas, a restaurant behind us, and this marker to show it. We're gonna go find ground zero of where that hurricane was. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Celebrating Culture. The 1890s were a very critical time for the Sicilian immigrants into New Orleans. You had the lynching of 1891. Mother Cabrini arrived in 1892. You had yellow fever. Many decided to come down to the coast of Louisiana and do what they had done in Sicily, fish. They found a town called Caminada, where this marker talks about, but in 1893, one of the most powerful hurricanes that hit America hit Caminada, killing 2,000 people, 500 of them being Sicilians. So a couple, the husband being a French gentleman named Pierre Charles Lee, and his wife, Rosalia Alvarado, came up here and founded Leeville. Leeville today is a place where you have the boats, it's the crew boats that supply the oil and gas industry, and you have the fishing boats. We're gonna hear stories of families that have connections to that past, and a librarian who tells a great story as well. In this segment, we're gonna hear the stories of, in this segment, we're gonna hear from the descendants of people that survived this hurricane, and we're also gonna hear stories of the librarian who's since retired in Galliano. Mr. Shekep tells a great story, and he knows his history so well. They got a great museum in Galliano to tell the history of the hurricane of 1893.